What up, peeps? It's your girl Dosh. Come back to Real Takes. Well, it's the time again. It's reaction time. This is to Netflix's Wednesday. This will be for episode 5, titled "You Reap What You Woe." Definitely looking forward to just the title alone. I swear, every time I just love them. Now, with the last episode, we're dealing more so with the backdrop being about the Ravens dance. Truly enjoyed this episode. Definitely the dance itself, of course, with the Wednesday show showcasing her moves, and Tyler just being kind of all encompassed with that. Seeing the stuff happening around where you see at first Xavier was, asked to the dance by Wednesday, but that was all a front because she was pretty much snooping in his space. Him, of course, saying that he was drawing, pictures of this creature. He's having visions, whatever, and it came to life, with the scratches. I'm like, okay, all right. Right now, I'm like, I don't know what to think about that. But then also them finding this so-called cave from the pictures and going down there seeing like some stuff shackled to the wall, and I'm like, this creature's tying himself up, whatever. But I'm really trying to figure out who it could be. I have I thought, could it possibly be the actual sheriff? But then I'm like, I'm not sure. But then I keep thinking when she said this particular creature, when she was hiding in the mortuary, like they keep taking body parts, certain parts from this body, and I'm like, one other person comes to my mind now when I think back on it after my last reaction. I keep thinking possibly could it be the actual therapist that Wednesday sees, what she does. I don't know, I could be well off, but it's like small little tiny little instances where you'll think, okay, I might be getting close to the reveal who could be, but then hearing little small little tidbits like this kind of gets me off of track. So, and the fact that somebody tried to burn up the little thing in Eugene, whatever, was spotted, and I'm like, okay, whoever that was knew it was him and came back later to get him. So I'm like, I don't know if it's a female or a male. They had a long jacket on, coat with a car. I'm like, I don't think it's the principal. I'm just curious, like, who the heck can it be? Because she's a shapeshifter, so I'm like, okay, definitely ain't her. But this person definitely is trying to protect Wednesday. So I'm just like, no idea. I'm at a loss. I do feel bad for Eugene getting caught in that because he didn't want to wait till the next night, whatever, trying to, feel like I can handle this without Wednesday, just enjoy the dance. So that's really interesting. Of course, those kids, trying to get back because of what happened, during that ceremony, for, that man cracks. I'm like, really? You're going to douse out some red paint? What am I? And then the guy who was sitting there getting close to Enid, whatever, and all, he was just such a joke. I'm glad Ajax, came to her aid and at least admitted why he, in some ways didn't really stand her up, but tell her, like, you keeping it from her and avoiding her, like that's was a she thing and you didn't want nothing to do with her. I just oh my god, teens. So in the end, I just feel so bad. I really was hoping that Eugene might still be alive. He's barely, but we'll see. It looked like he was not awake. He could be knocked out from the scratch. I don't know how intensive, from the cut, but hopefully he might be all right. So you know what? With that said, let's go ahead and just jump into it. I'll say there's some thoughts within you guys.
How well do we really know our parents? Take my father. I've always considered him an open book. A man given to misguided schemes and exaggerated displays of affection.
But it's all Morticia Frump's fault. They were fighting over her.
If you've heard about the unfortunate incident involving one of our students. But I'm happy to report that Eugene is on the mend and is expected to make a full recovery.
Trying a coma. Have you been to see him? You're his friend. And the reason he's in the hospital. That is not your fault, okay? Let's get this over with.
I thought Thing was filling you in on my every move. I uncovered your feeble subterfuge almost immediately.
Are you feeling well? You're looking a touch anemic. Have you been eating enough red meat?
Guessing your dad's no-show again this year?
Yeah. I got a text this morning.
My darling daughter,
Oh.
I made it.
Ooh.
Wouldn't miss this for the world.
Look at her. Ooh.
Times we had, didn't you, Larissa? Some of us better than others.
Oh, don't be so modest. You always filled a room with your presence.
Suicidal.
Oh. My picture's gone.
Oh,
Really? Well, that is odd. Dr. Kimbert and I have spoken, and we both agree it would be most beneficial for you all to attend a family session this weekend.
No.
uh-oh.
You okay? What's going on?
You know Reggie, the local coroner? He just blew his brains out.
So, who wants to start?
For me, it's been hard not having Wednesday around. I never thought I'd miss being a water boy so much.
Who was Garrett Gates and why are you accused of murdering him?
Whoa. Those charges were dropped. Your father's an innocent man.
Actually, this is exactly the place. These sessions are...
This does not concern you. The session is over.
Have it your way, Mother. Wednesday?
If you refuse to tell me the truth, I'll just have to excavate it myself.
It's for the candy.
Actually, that's potpourri.
Oh,
Why don't you take the bowl?
How did you find me?
Morning Song Community misses you. I miss you.
And by community, you mean cult. You actually married him.
He wants you to come home so that we can be a real family.
Hard pass. He's already got one siren to do his bidding.
My siren song is drying up. Recruitment numbers are way down and the wrong people are starting to ask questions. This wasn't a request. Then everybody here is gonna know how you sirened your way into Nevermore. A siren can never change her scales. You got until the end of the weekend to save your lives.
I harvested hive number 3.
You must be Wednesday. Eugene's moms, Sue and Janet.
You were all he could talk about lately. He was so happy you joined the homies.
Registered in his name, Colt 45. Janitor said he kept it in his desk.
He just subbed out last week. Just planning a cruise with his wife. He seemed all excited about retirement.
I guess you never really know what's going on through someone's mind. Scared. Black bubblegum. Got them scrubbing through video to find out how long it's been there.
Black bubblegum. You don't say. What case?
Garrett Gates?
Garrett Gates, you gotta be kidding me.
You heard of it?
I always thought they were covering up the truth. I got no proof.
There's something more morbid comes along to distract her.
You're under arrest for the murder of Garrett Gates. For the right to remain silent, anything you say can only be used against you in a court of law.
Garrett was infatuated with your mom. He mistook her kindness for interest. My life flashed before my eyes.
His confession sounds entirely plausible, delivered with the perfect degree of sincerity.
Don't you find the timing a tad bit convenient? The coroner kills himself out of remorse for a decades-old murder case the very weekend my father, your prime suspect, deigns to return to town. Whoever hurt Eugene also murdered the coroner.
Unfortunately, someone sabotaged the security camera in the morgue, so we don't know what happened. They stuck bubblegum in the lens. Black bubblegum.
You're throwing me off my game. This is all a distraction.
No, this is about justice being served. Garrett Gates' family deserves closure. His mother hung herself in the backyard, his father drank himself to an early grave, and even his little sister didn't escape. She was orphaned, sent overseas, ended up drowning.
Let's see. Okay. Really?
No need to be dramatic, Enid.
So need to conversion therapy for girls. Hey. I'm gonna miss a Wednesday. It's not over yet. He's innocent. Give me one of those. Father didn't kill Garrett Gates, did he?
I think she did it.
I'll never forget the way he looked at me. He was even foaming at the mouth. I realized what I'd done. Your father is so
Foaming saliva, dilated pupils, mental confusion. What are those all textbook symptoms of?
Look at me.
There's only one way to find out.
Guess it's gonna be an Addams Family reunion in lockup tonight. You're both under arrest.
I've seen jackals with more self-control than you two.
Proves to me you're still worthy to be called my son! Pure outcasts. Sneak into that dance and spike the punch bowl.
Thank you for seeing us at such short notice, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, well, veiled threats have that effect.
You could have prevented Garrett's death if you had done your job, and I lodged my complaint about him stalking me.
What do you want?
All charges dropped.
My father will be released immediately with a full and unequivocal apology from the sheriff's office.
Our psychic ability resides on the spectrum of who we are. You're a raven. Your visions are more potent, more powerful. But without the proper training, they can lead to madness.
Whatever. If I'm meant to wolf out, then I'm going to do it on my own timeline and not yours.
I'm proud of you, kiddo. You do you.
I'll come back and help you under one condition. Wait until the school year is over. How do I know you won't run away again? Because you both have too much to lose.
I knew you didn't have what it takes to be a murderer.
As much as last things that I see as my little death trap.
When Rowan appeared the next morning, it was you. You see, when you participated in the talent show with my mother, not only did you impersonate Judy Garland, you became her.
You're a shapeshifter.
Rowan's father already knows what happened, and he fully supports my decision not to involve the authorities. His telekinetic abilities were driving him mad, and he attempted to murder you twice.
Burying bodies to cover your dirty secrets.
I did what I needed to do to shield the school from controversy and protect its students from harm.
Tell that to Eugene.
What on earth?
Alright, you guys, I really did enjoy this episode. I'm glad we finally got some backstory in regards to supposedly the Sheriff Donovan accusing Gomez of murder. Come to find out, definitely with some layers onto that. Now, seeing that a particular young gentleman named Garrett was truly pretty much infatuated with Morticia. She already had her eyes set on and liked Gomez, but he didn't take too kindly to that. Mind you, there's some other history in regards to the school Nevermore in Jericho, where the father, certain things happened in a particular era where they just felt like they wanted to get back at him, so they were using the Raven dance to do what they were doing. Hence this little sort of portion, whatever, that was going to kill all the kids at the school. The father wanted him to step up and do this, all the while he was, wanting to do his own little thing. But you see what ends up happening where it escalates. I like how at first, you're wondering what's going on, with Morticia Gomez not wanting to go to see the therapist, let's have a family session, because the principal Williams was like, yeah, you all need to do this and all that, mind you, because it's parent weekend. And definitely that coming to the forefront. It's also another storyline that I'm really intrigued in. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more layers on it. It's the one with Bianca and her mother. Come to find out, her dealing with being a siren, certain things happening, they're needing individuals to add to the list, the ones that are getting, it's not working out. So of course the person, she doesn't like the gentleman the mother married, and is putting her in a situation where she needs to say her final goodbyes because she's to come report and come back home. But you see how that ends up happening, where it showcases her saying, let me finish our school and all that, and after this, I hope you, I don't want nothing to do with you or him. And you could tell the mother's upset. She wants nothing to do with you or this man. I'm just like, but I'm glad to see that there's other things. But mind you, the mother made some comments about Bianca, like they don't really know, what you really like, and this and that other, like she's really hidden, like she could be, more ruthless with her, her abilities. Makes you wonder. I really wish that we could have seen how she tried or used them on, Xavier back in the past, but we probably won't see that and all that. But needless to say, just that whole aspect, I was kind of glad. Also with Enid having to deal with her parents and her wanting to wolf out her mother, getting these pamphlets for her to go to some sort of conversion camp. I'm like, really? Let it happen when it's supposed to happen. I'm glad she stood up to her mom. This is like, oh my God. And I love how the dad was here for her. He's like, I'm so proud of you. He's like, do you? That's the type of parent you go. I'm like, stop trying to control your child in the narrative. When she is ready, it's going to happen. It's not happening the way you want. It's like, oh, the girl was there for 7 weeks, whatever, and she was howling to the moon. I'm like, okay, that's her. That's not your daughter. You're not helping your daughter. You're supposed to be encouraging your daughter, and then hopefully, as time goes on, you're being a great encouragement to her. It will happen in its own time. I really do hope we get to see it happen during these episodes remaining. But yes, just getting back to the situation where Morticia, she goes to the, see the headstone and the burial for Garrett and all that, and leaves the, the little stem from the flowers and all that, and then other things come up. But it's very interesting how, like they said, the doctor who's about to go on his, vacation hunt, with his wife, he shoots himself in the head. He felt guilty, all to find out it really truly was a cover-up. And the sheriff at the time, before he became mayor, you hit it. And I'm like, and I love how Morticia just spoke her mind, like, you could have avoided all this. When you knew he was pretty much, and I'd filed a report saying I was being stalked as another, you didn't want to ignore me. And it's like, it's an interesting, her, being a young female at the time, not being believed. And I like the look on his face, because this is like, yeah, you're that individual where you should have believed the girl, and like you said, that boy probably would have been alive. And look what happened. And being the fact that the situation of him, like she said, foaming from the mouth, this and that other, when that stuff, the door opened or whatever, got hit or knocked up against it, broke and got into, I'm assuming the glass and all that penetrated with whatever was in the serum, and that's why they said he was dying prior to him, kind of stepping back and falling off that thing, not just from, the sword. He was already there, but it's, and then, of course, I like how Gomez rose to the occasion calmly and taking the blame for that. And of course, Larissa Weems seeing him at the front at the helm, and of course when she had her little comment, like it was, they were fighting over her, this is this. No, she didn't care for that other guy at all. It was just Gomez. But you see, when you saw at the Raven dance on episode 4, her talking about Gomez and this and that and other, that means she kind of liked Gomez. So I don't know if we'll get an actual, flashback of her seeing him always with Morticia and her, pining, but yes, this really was a good episode. I love seeing Wednesday kind of bond with her brother a little bit. That was really nice. Pugsley, but just him feeling like his dad's going to be locked up and him not feeling like he can be strong. Sadly, with Eugene in a coma right now, I really hope he does come out of that. I'm glad to know that, Thing is watching over him, so nobody tries to come in there. But I will say this. There's one thing that came back when they were describing what happened when Garrett, was so-called killed, and they said the mother hung herself, the father drunk himself to a stupor, the sister, I think, ran away, something like this, and they found her. I wonder if that's the case, because you saw Wednesday kind of perk up about the sister. I keep wondering who the sister could really be. Is she really dead? Just other layers of other people who can show back up, you never know. So, I don't know. Still doesn't say the fact that whatever, I don't know, somebody might come back to town, might try to cause some whip, but and seeing, of course, the the principal, you know, having this little discussion with, you know, Wednesday, you know, knowing she finally figured out she's a shifter. I'm like, like, oh, I didn't know that was going to be revealed. But I said I like how she admitted how they had to cover it up, and the father was fine with it in regards to Roman, you know. But that little fire at the end, you know, fire, I'm like, what is really going on? So I'm really curious to see in the next follow-up episode, you know, what all this is about with that situation. Because yeah, I'm loving, you know, now we can pass the stuff with Gomez and see what's going on and still get to the bottom of the story with Wednesday, trying to figure out who is this creature. There's unfinished business. We need to figure out who this is, and I'm hoping as time goes on we'll find out maybe before the last final episode of this series. So with that said, you guys comment below, let me know what you think, and with that said, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. You guys take care.